What is going on with Microsoft? I looked over. I think it was like the day before yesterday, and I just saw 1,000 rumors just all pop out. Just like they just all sprung forth. All these billions of rumors about the doom and gloom of Xbox. I'm like, what happened? What happened? It's just like so many leaks, and I purposefully didn't report on them. I didn't talk about them that much in Discord because they were all rumors. But it's starting to look like there's some truth to them. It's starting to look like there's some truth because Phil Spencer went on record today, and he said this. He was like, "We're listening, and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for the next week, where we look forward to sharing more details about you and our vision and the future of Xbox. Stay tuned." I am flabbergasted because the rumors are that pretty much Microsoft is going to be focusing more on multi-platform games than they currently are. So we've heard rumors that Starfield is coming to PlayStation, which is technically a first-party title since they bought Bethesda. Hi-Fi Rush and a couple others were mentioned, and there's been some speculation and rumors about just the future of the hardware of Xbox because Microsoft seems to be putting all their eggs in the basket of Game Pass instead of hardware. Sounds like Sega. Sounds exactly what happened to Sega. Sega dropped out of the hardware game and went strictly software. And turns out it was a pretty good move for them because Sega's still around, even though they're not the same, Dreamcast and Genesis stuff that we love from old, but still, Sega did the same thing. But given that Microsoft just purchased Activision Blizzard and they just had all these huge cuts, and I think their evaluation was like $3 trillion. It was some crazy number. I forget, $3 billion. I'm not gonna say trillion. It was like a lot of money. The company's worth a lot of money. They're being very careful about what they're doing in the future, what they're betting on in the future. And I gotta be honest with you, I kind of hope everybody does this. I don't like exclusives. I never did like exclusives. Ever since the idea of an exclusive was introduced, I couldn't stand it. That the game was on PlayStation and nowhere else. That the game was on Xbox and nowhere else. That the game was on Nintendo and nowhere else. I hated it. It's so anti-consumer, anti-gamer. I don't know why people love that kind of stuff. Sure, it's going to drive competition, but it's anti-consumer. You can do both. You can drive competition and you can be anti-consumer. And that's what this is doing. So I don't like the idea of games being on a single platform and on a single platform only. Especially in current year, because in current year, we've got technology to where you can do crossplay just about with anything across multiple operating systems, even Linux, even on your phone, even on the Mac. Like we can crossplay across everything now. So there's really no excuse. I'm not gonna say excuse. Excuse is a bad word. I really think there's no reason to be married to the idea of an exclusive game for a console. I know some people call up console sellers and blah blah blah, but I don't like the idea. I don't like the idea at all. On the flip side of that, I don't like the idea of going digital only either. I mean, we just saw an example of that with Sony, and some people bought some stuff on the Sony store, the digital copies, and then they just vanished. They're just gone. I'm trying to tell people, man, when you get digital stuff, you no longer have control over stuff you buy. It can go. People don't think it can happen, but when it does happen, they're going to be like, "Oh, what happened to my Spider-Man game that I bought in 2023? It is no longer there. I wanted to play it." I don't like it, man. You lose all control of it. It's not even about the idea of having a physical disc version, because I prefer that, versus having a digital copy in the cloud. It's about control. You lose control to it. It's essentially a high class version of renting. That's what's going on with games these days. It's like Blockbuster 6.0 has like resurfaced, where you're renting a game for, I don't know, like what, 6 years? You'll buy the game for $6, $60, and you might rent it for like 6 to 7 years. And then it's going to be gone after that. Forever. From everybody's library. Not just yours, everybody. So I think emulation, I'm really starting to get into emulation again, because it's going to be real sad when y'all get to be my age and you be like, man, I really want to play some Mario Brothers, but I don't want to have to buy it for the 40th time, you know? Or if it's not even available, I want to play some Mario Brothers, but I can't. And that's also why I don't like live service games too. Live service games is like the same idea, right? Live service games is like the same idea, because you're essentially renting your experience that can go away at any time. See Marvel Heroes. I'm telling you, Marvel Heroes, I could write a book on that. I could write a dissertation on the dangers of live service. I can come up with something like super scientific-y freaking title. The intricacies and the differences between real life and sausage and Marvel Heroes and a glass of tea. And people are like, "Ooh, that sounds so smart. I'm going to read that." Because I get the urge to do Midtown Manhattan and I can't. And it sucks. That's not the truth for like Diablo 2. If I want to go do some boss runs of Diablo 2, I could fire it up if I wanted to, if I had it installed. Or I could just reinstall it, do some boss runs if I want to. Can't do that in Marvel Heroes. Nah, man. Nah. I think that was the funnest grind I've ever had in any video game, was Midtown Manhattan and Marvel Heroes. That includes Final Fantasy 11, 14. That includes Warframe. Even though I love my Warframe grinds, I love my Warframe grinds a lot. Grinds. I love my Warframe grinds a lot. But nothing tops Midtown Manhattan, man. Even when there was no, like, remember they had like 20,000, like 16 billion, 28,000 to the 10th power buffs going at the same time. Double XP, double this, double that. And then you kill a boss, and then the loot would be so tremendous that it'd lag your computer, and you wouldn't care because there's 4,000 orbs, 6 legendaries, and everything on the ground. You just like, you get this ultimate endorphin rush, and then you go kill it again, and you just keep repeating that. Oh my gosh. Nobody's ever replicated that. Even Path of Exile. Remember Path of Exile came out. Sometimes it was like a lot of loot would drop, but a lot of it was like garbage. Nobody topped Midtown Manhattan's just loot, man. Ugh. The blob ain't moving for nobody. I don't remember all the lines. I should remember them. The blob ain't moving for nobody. I remember the blob because when the card came out in Marvel Snap, I was like, what was that line the blob said? And I looked it up. The blob ain't moving for nobody. And Hulk's, really? That's all you got? I love me some Hulk, boy. I used to just leap around town. Doom, 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 doom. Roar! Smash the ground. Boom. Punch 2 times. Roar! Everybody dead. Jump again. Boom, 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 boom. Roar! Boom, doom, doom. Really? That's all you got? Doom, 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 doom. Roar! Boom, doom, 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 doom. Boom, doom, 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 doom. I'm paraphrasing. It wasn't exactly like that. But yeah, man, that's the thing.